house is in an uproar, for we are moving out. We shall no longer have to put up with dear Fanny. Mother has quite suddenly decided to take up our cousin's offer of a small house in the countryside, and we are moving in 2 days, believe it or not. That's the really exciting part. But, you may ask, where did this offer come from, and what cousin is it that has so kindly and gallantly ridden to our rescue? Well, he is a distant cousin of Mother's, and we have not seen him in quite some time. But when he heard of our reduced and tragically altered circumstances, he kindly wrote to Mother, offering us one of his farmhouses. I guess he owns several, and he rents them out. Anyway, the rent is very agreeable, and Eleanor agreed that we can surely afford it. So we are moving out. Oh, happy, happy day! It is quite wonderful. Even Fanny has condescended so kindly to help with the packing, which isn't really Fanny's thing, to get in there and get dirty and get messy and work hard. But I suppose there is a time for everything in everyone's life. However, she has particularly insisted on packing Mother's fine china, and I think this is because she wants to make sure that we're not stealing any of her fine china. As if we would. Huh. However, I will try my best to be charitable, because very shortly I will not be seeing her anymore. I will not be hearing her anymore. I will not be in her company anymore. I won't even have to think about her anymore, which is a really good thing, because at the moment I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to forgive her for something that she said the other day. Of course, she probably doesn't know that I overheard it, but I did. These things happen, you know. It's not as if I was eavesdropping. However, I did hear her and Mother talking, and what she said about Eleanor, I will never forgive her. It was a most horrid thing for her to say, and yet I ought not to be too surprised, as I don't exactly think she's the most unhorrid person in the world.
Oh, my dear Mrs. Dashwood, I was so hoping for a little chat. Oh, do sit down. Yes, I know, you and your family have quite enjoyed Edward's visit, but unfortunately he must return to the city shortly, as he has many business matters to oversee. You do know that he is expected to come into even more great business upon the death of our dear mother, although that won't happen for a very long time. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, well, he is. Ha! He is to inherit the family firm, of course. We all expect such great things from him. I not the least. Oh, yes. He shall have a comfortable job, a nice house, a fine house, in the best part of the city. And after many great years of service to the family firm, he shall become CEO some day. Oh, yes, we and I expect such wonderful, wonderful things. So you see, my dear Mrs. Dashwood, Edward cannot really afford to be tangled up with anybody at the moment, especially some praying, penniless young woman. If he is to be married, which no doubt he will be, as you know, there must be a continuation of the grand tradition of our family, he will marry, and be expected to marry, a young lady of fantastic means and from the highest branches of society. Oh, yes, and preferably she would have a vast fortune. But if there is no fortune to be had, and no girl to go with it, well, she must have a good name at least, something from some very old family, the older the better. You know, like to the Pilgrims, say, or older. Oh, indeed, yes. So, you see, my dear Mrs. Dashwood, It really would not do, you know. I'm sure you know what I mean. We are both women who know these sort of things, and are very sensible, I think. Yes, indeed, I do think we have reached an agreement on this matter. Indeed, I do. I'm so happy we could have this little chat, Mrs. Dashwood. So happy indeed.
As you can probably tell, my mom was not at all amused. And neither was I. Fanny Dashwood has practically run up her colours and said that Fanny Dashwood expects Edward to do his duty, or else be disinherited, if they still do that nowadays. I don't know. I've never been disinherited myself, so I couldn't really say. I wouldn't put it past Fanny, actually, to disinherit her younger brother. But, you know, I am sure that whatever his sister should say, however, Edward will come visit us in our new house, and he and Eleanor will see that they love each other very much, even if they are not engaged at present. And I'm sure that everybody else will see what is so obvious to my mother and I, that they are destined for each other. There is simply no getting away from it. They are made for each other. Duty be dashed. Edward will follow his heart and not his sister's commands. I am sure of this indeed. But back to the matter at hand. We are moving, and we shall be glad to be gone from the company of that horrid woman, even if it means leaving behind our dear house and home. Such sacrifices, I guess, must be made for a little peace and quiet.